let's start work on the VFR800 engine. So I've got a few things here, got some screwdrivers, various screwdrivers, Phillips and plain, pliers. That's not a lot of tools, but it's all I'm going to need for the moment, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking some of the hoses off. I've got a set of Draper latex gloves here. I'm going to be wearing those. Easier than trying to clean all the grease off my hands afterwards. Just start with this. Going to start with this top hose here. It's just fixed on with one of these clips that you squeeze. I'm sure there's a proper name for it, but never mind. So I just squeeze that with the pliers, just pull that off. And that hose should just pull straight off then. I'm putting everything in a plastic tub just to keep it all together, just in case I'm going to use any of this stuff at any stage. One of these hoses. I'm just going to pull this top hose off the thermostat. It'll come off. Yep, that's that off. That hose is not in bad condition. I might be able to reuse that. Right, just going to undo these Phillips Jubilee clips. Most of these Jubilee clips on this engine seem to be Phillips. Right, I can't actually get to that one because it's done from the underneath, so I'll just have to pull this whole assembly off as one. Just need to slacken this one off a bit more. Okay, same with that one. We'll just see if we can work this loose now. Right, these hoses still seem to be quite well stuck, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the ordinary screwdriver and just pry them loose. Just being careful not to damage the hose union. Starting to move. It's still quite well stuck. There we go, that's that one off. Right, now same thing with this one. I think maybe if I twist it a bit, I might loosen it up a bit. Right, that one doesn't seem to want to come off, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Stanley knife. So I'm just going to make a slit in the end of it, and hopefully that will free it. Obviously it means I won't be able to reuse this bit again, but that doesn't matter, hose is not too expensive. Right, so that's it cut, and there we go, that just comes straight off then. Right, so that's the thermostat, but it's still fixed on with this hose down there. So I'm going to need to free that hose and we'll take that off. Right, so this other hose goes onto the water pump. So I'm just undoing the Jubilee clip on the water pump. Right, okay, so that is the thermostat. So that's now off the bike, and that is these are the hoses. That one goes down to the water pump. These two go to the top of the engine, and that's the expansion tank hose, I think. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these rubbers off the top of the engine. These are clipped on with a Jubilee clip, Phillips Jubilee clips. I'm just going to undo that. They're coming undone quite easily. Okay, that's quite slack now. We'll just see if that will pull off. Right, okay, so that's the one of the rubbers off the intake. So I'm just slackening the one on the other side. I'm going to see if I can break that loose. Right, it's kind of slack, but it's not coming off, so I'm just going to slacken it a bit more. Open that clip out a bit and just see if it'll come off. There we go, that's come off, so that's the other one off that side. So there should be 4. There were only 2 and 2 are missing, so I'll need 2 when I install it in the bike. I'll probably actually use the ones from the bike when I put it in, or I'll use the best out of the 6 of them, something like that. Right, so now I'm going to remove some of these wires. So we've got a sensor here. This is just clipped on with a block connector. I think that's like a cam position sensor or something. There's another sensor here. I think this will maybe be the crank position sensor. Just going to remove that. So I'm just going to undo that. Right, so that's that free. It's bolted on to the side here with this clip, so I'm just going to get a little spanner and just undo that. Right, there we go, so that's an 8mm bolt. There we go. Right, this is actually one of the engine casing bolts. I wasn't going to remove the engine casings yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just remove this bolt so that I can get this cable free. Finger tight now. It's quite an awkward place to get at. Right, I think what I'll try is an 8mm socket. So here I have an 8mm socket and an extension bar. I'm just going to use that like a screwdriver just to take this bolt out. So that's that bolt out, and the clip that holds that wire. Just got rid of that. Right, I'm going to remove this sensor next. Right, that's just held on by a single nut, so let's get a spanner for that. So that's that bolt out. See if we can pull this sensor out now. It's being kind of stubborn, so let's see if I can pry it out with a flat blade screwdriver. There we go. So that's that. That'll be the cam position sensor, I believe. This wire here, this won't be able to come off until the engine casing comes off, so that'll have to stay put just for now. Right, so that's most of what I can do on that side of the engine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the engine round. So this is the other side of the engine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove these hoses. I'm going to start with this one on the water pump. And slacken this Jubilee clip. There we go, so that's that set of hoses off. Right, so far so good. That I think is all the radiator hoses off.